Oh. Sahana vavatu Sahanau bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the Lord protect us. May He nourish us. May we acquire the capacity to study and understand the scriptures. May our study be brilliant and may we not cavil at each other. Om, peace, peace, peace unto us all. Sai Ram. Dear brothers and sisters, loving Sai Ram to everyone. Welcome to the Satsang of the Sri Sathya Sai Baba Center of Arcadia. We'll continue the chapter 6 on page 28, which is on the online version you have, and on the hard copy, page 51. So just briefly, the main points we discussed last week was the Lord Krishna was telling Arjuna the supremacy of the Jnana Yoga. That is the highest. So he's telling path of knowledge, path of wisdom. So people get confused. Path of knowledge means not acquiring many degrees or secular knowledge. It is path of wisdom. That is why Lord Krishna says, Gita, Vidyanam Adhyatma Vidya. Of all knowledges, I am the spiritual knowledge. So that is what he is talking about. So we talked about always the definition of happiness. Everybody now knows in the center, right? Happiness means union with God. Similarly, we talked last few times, what is the definition of jnanam? What is jnanam? That always we should, by any time you ask, you say, what is jnanam? People, oh, I want jnanam. Advaita darshanam jnanam. There is definition of like in Newton's laws, we have definition, Einstein. This is similarly spirituality, we have definition. Happiness is union with God. Jnanam means Advaita darshanam jnanam, seeing only oneness. Because Swami says, dual mind is half a blind. So here, Swami, last week we talked two important. Jnani the Atmaiva me matam. He says, there is no difference between Jnani and me. So I and Jnani are the same. So if you are really, like you see, like great Jnanis like Ramana Maharshi, Vivekananda, and Ramakrishna, all that, you say you are seeing God, not somebody else. Because Lord Krishna himself says, Jnani and I are the same. Because in the Lord Krishna says there are four kinds of devotees. Everybody remembers? Artho, Jijnasu, Arthati, Jnana. All they are devotees. He didn't say they're not devotees. Some people, Artha, that means when they have problem, like health problem, pain here, pain there, mental, physical, whatever it is, they pray to God. There is nothing wrong. So instead of approaching the worldly people who are not reliable, you approach God. So then when you have distress, you approach God, please help me relieve this mental pain or physical pain, financial distress, whatever it is. The next group of devotees, Artharthi. That means they want something to desire. Hey, they're buying a new house. I want just let me get a new good one, get a car. So let us not be have troublesome car, good car. Let me have good children or get them married nicely. These are all desires. They're just related to your body, family. They're okay, but they are not the ultimate. That means you are giving more importance to them than God. So you are praying God for their sake. That means the importance is more to your desires, family, and what you want. That is artharthi. Artho jijnasu arthati. That means to try to get some betterment in life. Jijnasu, the one is then next step is better. So he wants to learn about God. He learns stories and jijnasu, that means knows about the spiritual energy. He is not satisfied with the regular thing. Enough. As Swami says, desires are like bottomless pit. The more like you are putting the fire in the yajna we have seen, what is the thing? You put ghee, clarified butter. What happens? The flame becomes more. So similarly, the desires, the more you satisfy, it is goes increasing. So then he gets disgusted. This is not enough. Let me go and inquire into the purpose of life. Like Lord Buddha, he gave up the kingdom, he gave up the palace, he gave the family, went in search of the truth to know what is the purpose. Because he became a jijnasu. Once you have sincere inquiry, then you become jnani. That means you know what I am searching. I am already that. I am that Atma. I am divine love. So that is why he says all the four are my devotees, but Jnani Atmaiva Mematam. There is no difference between me and Jnani. I am that. So that is why Lord Krishna is, last week we read the Jnanitva Atmaiva Mematam. That is what main thing is emphasis, that we also can become like that. Because he says, also we read Najnanena Sadrusham Pavitram. There is nothing, Pavitra means holy. There is nothing holy as Jnanam. That is the highest. And everything ends in Jnanam. So you need to, you know the story of these four kinds of devotees? Does anybody know want to tell instead of me telling? So Swami told, to show the example of four devotees who there, he told a nice story. No, you know, you don't. Anyway, so I want that next time you should be all things. So eventually, you guys need to slowly take over and tell. So Swami said there was this rich man. So he had in those days they are allowed 4 wives. So he had 4 wives. My grandfather had. Think those days they allow that is accepted. So because for they don't have children or for whatever reason. So for some people for good. So they had, so he went on a tour outside. So just to say, so, example of coming to America, he came. So he spent some time. Then so he, after the time he was going back. So he wrote all of them, each one, what do you want, what do you want, what do you want. So one lady, because she has a lot of rheumatoid arthritis, pain, joints, this and that, she wrote, please, I heard there are a lot of new medicine available there, which help the arthritis, which will help, please bring those medicine. Oh, good. So then another wife said, he likes jewelry and like this. Oh, I heard a lot of, I want diamond necklace and ruby earrings or pearl earrings. So all those things, bring it. And this is okay. And third one, what is, she is really spiritual inquiry. I want some things, some philosophical works of Buddha or Aristotle or Socrates or Upanishads, things, all those things. Bring those books. I would like to do that. And fourth wife said, I don't want anything. I'm really getting restless. I'm missing you so much. I didn't see you for 2 months. I cannot stand one more day. As soon as you come, that's all I want, nothing else. That's all she wrote. So when he went back, so he was spending all the time with this fourth wife. Then they all were got upset. Yeah, you didn't come to me. You didn't come to me. You didn't. He says, you wanted medicine. I brought you. I gave it to you. Be happy. You wanted jewelry. I gave it to you. So you're happy. And you wanted the books. You're happy. But she wanted only me. So I had to go for her. Similarly, these 4 classification, like Lord Krishna, you won't understand. So first one is Artha, where she wanted the medicine for the illness. Second one is Arthati, they want something, material things. And third is inquiry, which is better than all the things. And fourth is only love for love's sake. Swami says, only want God, nothing else, like Mirabai. She was in a royal family. She gave up everything in search of Lord Krishna. And same thing, Lord Buddha. They don't care for the material things. They even give up their body for the sake of Lord. They have so much burning hunger, like Ramakrishna used to rub his face against the floor till it bleeds. Mother Kali is worshipper. Another day is gone. What am I doing here? I'm wasting my life. That kind of thing, and then the experience, like Namadev, Janabai, like the great devotees of the Lord. For them, the only thing is important is love for the Lord. There is nothing. That is why even Jesus said, what is the famous thing? Seek ye the kingdom of God, everything shall be added unto you. So if you have God, everything will be there. So that is the thing. So jnana, you think, oh my God, what is self-inquiry? So that is the way to reach God. So that is why it is a very important point we talked about, because then once you have the knowledge, then you really, both pravritti marga, nivritti marga, we talked about. What is pravritti marga? Going outward in day-to-day life, how you take care of self. Nivritti marga is the inward path. For both, the jnana will help us to have a peaceful and happy life, right? That's all. Everybody wants what? Peace and happiness, whether you are rich or whether you are poor or you are a scholar or whether you are ignorant. It doesn't matter. Everybody wants that bliss because our nature is bliss. For that, the only thing ultimately is love for God, love for life, say, or you call jnana. Both are almost the same. Parabhakti and jnana, there is no difference. So this is where we start. So anything else you want to add, Nirupama, for the last week's discussion? If not, we can start on page 51 hard copy or page 28 on the online version.
Iram. Every single act of yours must be carried out with this gnana in its background. That awareness of the Atma will guide you in both outmoving and indrawing paths, the Pravritti Marga and the Nivritti Marga. It will not block action, but it will fill it with purpose and meaning. It will build up faith and moral life. It will take man to the realm of deliverance along the road of Nishkama Karma, the renunciation of the fruit of action, but not of the action itself. For the achievement of liberation, jnana is the direct road. Therefore, it is declared to be incomparably sacred. And, naturally, it follows that ignorance is indubitably the most despicable. See the universal in the particular, see the particular in the universal. That is the essence of jnana, said Krishna. All kshetras know only one single kshetrajna. And who is that? The Atma, that is to say, you, yourself, your own self. Know this, and you become an ajnani. So realize that the Atma is Paramatma. That is the Vijnana. Krishna, who is all-knowing, began to teach Arjuna this yoga in order to cast off all doubt from his mind. Arjuna, I taught this sacred Jnana Yoga to Surya. Then it was handed down from one generation to another, till Manu and Ishvaku from them Rajashris came to learn it. Then it got lost in the world. That ever-existing yoga had to be restored to the world, and so I had to come. You will not fail to notice the discrepancy of the yoga being described as ever-existing and the statement that it was lost. Of course, the statement was not made without thought. The indestructible is here spoken of as having been destroyed. It is called indestructible or avyaya for two reasons. Its origin is the Veda, which is free from decline. This yoga, on account of passage of time, neglect, and disuse, was forgotten. That is to say, it disappeared. It was lost to view. It declined. The statement does not mean anything more. Bringing it into life means bringing it once again into use, not creating it ab initio. Lost to view is the sense in which the word destroyed is used in a general way. That is how you have to interpret it, for the Lord will never devise a thing that will suffer destruction. I think I'll stop there. I read this passage a few times. I really love the message here. I think one of the underlying themes in the Bhagavad Gita, and then also when Swami writes Gita Vahini, is this idea of nishkama karma, where we're performing only the action for the action itself without the focus on the fruit of that action, which is sort of underlying throughout pretty much every paragraph we have read here. And I think he defines this jnana well, that Advaita Darshanam here, see the universal in the particular and see the particular in the universal. You can sort of break down that statement. When you think particular, you can think of particle, which is a little bit more of a material component. And that universal is that divine sort of energy and vibration that exists within everything. Even a lot of the astrophysicists will say that too. I don't know if anyone reads or listens to Neil deGrasse Tyson, but he's a famous astrophysicist. And he has even said that if you look throughout the cosmos, there is proof that everything is united by this supernatural sort of energy or vibration. As we read further, there's more that's really good here, but I also really, his definition of how when you teach jnana and you teach something so sacred, the way I took it is that as it gets passed through generations and probably people with different priorities, the message gets sort of diluted versus destroyed per se. So it's everything kind of goes to interpretation. And whenever there's something that's explained to generations, I feel that sometimes the message gets diluted and it may be a little more, may relate a little more to their own benefit. So for something like seeing oneness, maybe there are certain generations that are focused more on the Pravrti Marga, and you're focused more on gaining material things. So then you try to use this wisdom to maybe gain more material things versus advancing your spiritual journey. So that's when, so he explained that very nicely as we read on, though, because as Swami said here, something created by the Lord cannot be destroyed, but may be diluted because it goes through different channels.
Yeah, the one you mentioned about the scientists that also talk, because the highest truth cannot be different, whether you use a scientist or a philosopher or a saint or a yogi, they see the same thing. It cannot be different. Whether it's water, is water, whether you call in Tamil or Telugu or Hindi or Tenjijal. So similarly, the highest truth is same. That is one of the birthday discourse, I remember Swami clearly said in public discourse, these are all rishis. Einstein, he said they are rishis. He used these are the various Einstein, Heisenberg, our physics, and Oppenheimer, all these great scientists whom we think, like Oppenheimer, he had that explosion. Unfortunately, it was used for wrong purpose. As he quoted the Bhagavad Gita, it looked like when they exposed so much light, thousands of suns, Koti Surya Samaprabha, we describe. So it was like that. So all these basic principles are the showing that unity in diversity. The whole thing, Lord Krishna says, we talked about definition of jnana is Advaita Darshanam. Another thing is avibhaktancha vibhakteshu. Seeing unity in diversity. Swami made it. Whenever you see unity in diversity, that is jnanam. Seeing diversity in unity is the ignorance. That's all. So for this to practice, there is another subtle thing. Here in English, they didn't properly explain here. What Swami said is, there is a shloka, yada, famous shloka, all the teachers, commentators quote that, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata Abhyutthana madharmasya tadamyaham sujamyaham. I incarnate from age to age whenever there is destruction of dharma. Glani means destruction, or whenever there is yada yada hi dharmas, whenever there is this destruction of dharma, I incarnate. That's what most of the people translate. I told you, Swami gives the inner meaning, like even karmanyeva adhikar. So you have entitled for work, but not to the fruits thereof. That is wrong, he says. You are entitled as you sow, but you willfully give the result. Similarly, he says dharma, because dharma is eternal. It is not destroyed. They never can destroy. That is what dharma is. Dharma. Practice of the dharma goes down. That is what it is. That we have 4 ages: Kruta Yoga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga. Now we are Kali age. They say they compare the dharma to 4, like a cow going on 4 legs. So in Kruta Yuga, all the 4 legs was walking. Everybody was practicing dharma. In Treta Yuga, time of Rama, it was 3 legs, bad people, Ravana. But even though Ravana was bad, he was a great Shiva Bhakta. At least he used to practice and follow the rules of the war. And in the night, don't fight. So you need to practice. So at least some dharma was there. And Dwapara age, at time of Krishna, it was walking on 2 legs. So that how in the same family there was fighting between the cousins, and that too much politicking and bad tactics to destroy their own family. That is. But now Kali age, so that time Dwapara, Swami says nicely, in Treta age, the enemy was on the other side, because in India, that time Bharat was Rama, Sri Lanka was the demon, Ravana. It is in another place. But in the time of Mahabharata, in Dwapara age, in the same family, bad guys and good guys are there in the same family, cousins that we hated each other. They tried. Now the Kali age, not only in the family, still they have problems. Brothers fight, and parents, children also fight, I heard. But I hope it doesn't continue. But within the same person, they are both negative and positive. In each one, there is a war going on. That is the Kali age. So the problem is practice of dharma is going down. So he says, I came to show you how to reinstitute practice of the dharma. That is why Swami introduced this 5 human values. Made it very simple. He didn't say God or anything. Sathya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema, Ahimsa, truth, right conduct, peace, love, and non-violence. Really, whoever it is doing, practicing, it made impact. You might have seen in the general body meeting, we had some of the children from Australia, in Kenya, in Africa, and in Ecuador, in Latin America, and also in, was it Mexico? No, Brazil. So all of the children, they showed how their life was impacted by practicing the human values. They knew the purpose of life. So and recently also they had a conference in Barbados on the education in human values. And there was one guy from UNICEF. And so he said, now after I retire, I want to be part of this. That's education, human values. So how much it is, even few people are touched by this program. We may see, oh, so much war going on. So we don't need to focus. We see what is focused on the good. Because what all you see, TV, newspapers, you focus on the bad. You mess up your head, eyes, and things. That is why famous saying in the scriptures, Badram karnebi shruniyama devaha, Badram paschema chabirya datraha, Thirairanga is to basic things, see good. So you are seeing something violent on the TV or movie or something here, right away, that means your mind is polluted. You may think, just I'm seeing, but no, it makes subconscious impressions. Very, very important. Same thing, hearing. Somebody talks, even yesterday, somebody told me something, I forgot, but suddenly that morning, I was thinking something, suddenly that thought came, because we think, so even hearing about negative things is really dangerous. That is why our people, basic principle, see good, see no evil. Hear good, hear no evil. So, and unfortunately, most of these TV, the media, newspapers, they're full of they focus on that. There are so many people at the same time helping, like in Ukraine, we are relief, we are doing. We should focus on showing that good things happening, then people will be inspired. If you go on showing the bad thing, it will make more people will be doing the bad. It is a vicious effect. So main thing is, at least as devotees, we can say, some people say, oh, if you don't say, how do you know what will happen? I said, why should I, what do I do? I won't make any policy decision. The government, I don't need to know all the details. So somebody will tell us if we really need to know. But this will, for spiritual seekers, we should be careful. Like Sri Ramakrishna used to say, somebody in those Bengal, those days, we used to, some devotees come, they used to bring newspaper with them. And then, because some people are not focused on God, after they leave, because then Sri Ramakrishna said the Ganga Jal, because Dakshineshwar is next to Ganga, who sprinkles some Ganga Jal there, became impure because of the newspaper. And Swami used to say TV is television. Swami says televisham. Visham is a Telugu word. It is poison. It will poison your mind. Particularly when people are eating food or anything. Says if you do that, your food, what you are eating, it get the negative. A lot of people, when they are eating, they watch TV or talk about things. If it is good things, okay, satsang, good thing. Otherwise, it will poison the thing instead of doing that. So we should be very, very careful. So dharma is, so simple things Swami has shown how we need to live. So so there is no, that's why this here he says, once is dharma is started by God, how can it be destroyed? Dharma and God is same. So the practice of dharma has gone down. In the Krita Yoga, all people used to practice dharma. In Treta Yuga, so 3/4 of the people, and then Dwapara Yuga, 50-50. Now, very few people practice, but we should not be discouraged. There is a scope because we have Swami, the avatar of the age, who is guiding us how to lead the life. So this is the inside view. And second thing is, Lord Krishna says, I taught this to Surya. Who is the Surya? Is who? Sun god. He was there for millions of years, right? And Lord Krishna lived her 125 years, and he was only at that time maybe 90 years. So he has a doubt, how can you teach sun god when you are here 90 years old and you are talking about sun god, and then sun god to Ichwaku to this guy, and then finally. So here that shows that he is not limited to this physical body. Whenever an avatar comes, the greatest foolish thing is to confine him to a name and a form. That's why Lord Krishna clearly says in Gita, Avajananti ma mudham manushim tanumashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. They are insulting me. Mudhas, these ignorant people, they are insulting me. Lord Krishna says, Avajananti ma mudha manushim tanuasha. They think I am this body. We're having this body, I am a man. No, I am supreme reality, all present. That's why he was there, he is here, he will be there. Anytime, even Lord Krishna, he was there more than 5,000 years ago. Even now, any Krishna devotee with sincerity and love prays to him, they appear before him. So many people, you go to Vrindavan and all those places, yogis who just have conversation with God, conversation with the Lord Krishna. They eat with Krishna because they have that feeling. So it is not that he was only in Dwapara age, he is here. That's why we also have the magazine called Sathya, the Eternal Companion, because he's not confined to that time. He was there, he is there, he will be there forever. That is the principle of divinity we should remember. People don't confine Krishna only to that thing, only to Dwaraka, only to Vrindavan. He is there everywhere. And same thing with Lord Rama, not just in Ayodhya, but he is all pervading. Same with Sat Sai, not everywhere he is there. Shirdi Sai, all the thing, divine principle, there is only one God, is omnipresent. All these things we should like formulas which there is only one God, he is omnipresent. There is only one religion.
It's enough.
Love. Yeah, these are the basic things we should even in dream we should know. And only one language. Yeah, so that's why even you go to some of these places in China, there, so even they will not converse with from their eyes and their gestures, they can talk. You feel their love because there is a long language of the heart. So these are the basic fundamental truths Swami said. So he taught to sun god. That means he was there from the ancient. He is eternal. That means he's not. God is two things. They say he is Nitya Nutana and Sanatana. He ever knew, that is what I said, he always looks new, but he is at the same time Sanatana, eternal, always has been there. Same thing if you read the Bible, Jesus tells, I taught this to Abraham. Jesus was the son of Mary and carpenter Joseph. People wondering, we saw this guy born in Bethlehem, growing up in Nazareth. How can he be teaching to Abraham and all those people? Because they think this is guy a carpenter's son, and that's why Lord Jesus, he was a Jewish carpenter, but the Jews hated him. They crucified him, but they confined him to that name and form. But he said, I taught to Abraham. People who know the truth, they know he was there before. He was that principle, that consciousness, eternal principle, which was there all the time. So these are all the insights you should see. I taught to Syria, right away question should come, how can you see to sun God? Because he was always there, this knowledge was always there, and Lord Krishna came to revive that knowledge. That's all. It was never gone, because Vedic knowledge, another thing is taking about, Vedic knowledge means it is the most ancient knowledge. Veda means, what is the meaning of with? Veda means knowledge. Just knowledge is always there. So, and this knowledge especially came from God. It is the breath of God. That is why Vedas are called apaurusheyas. That means it's not written by human beings. That's why people think these books, people have revelation of truths. They are the breath of God. They are the revelations from God. They're also called Shruti. So the Lord revealed the truth, and then it go to them, and then they listen from their teacher, and then come to them, and transmit it. That is why these are the various names of Vedas. And people say, even that he said, Vedas are gone for a while, right? So now Swami revived the revival. So can you believe people in Argentina, people in Croatia, people in Russia, they all chant Vedas. Can you believe Swami made it happen? How, and in Russia it is like Gayatri, they do every day, many centers, every day. We do it every 2 months. By the way, it is coming up December 16th and 17th. We do it as a worldwide Gayatri, but there people practice it. This is the power of, this is the most ancient mantra, but they do that. So that is what the power is. So Swami revived the chanting. Before Vedas said, oh, women cannot do that, or only Brahmins only should do, Shudras cannot do. Swami says that the knowledge, there is not possession of one gender, one race, and one caste. It is for universal. That is what another thing Swami has revolutionized the concept that it is for all people. So these are all the insights about this Dharma, about how he taught. So this is very, very important. Anybody has any questions or comments?
One question, Uncle.
So she wants first comment, and then we can go to question.
Sairam. So as it described and mentioned, so Krishna is actually saying also about that Guru Parampara lineage that I taught to Surya Bhagavan, and then to go to Manu and to like that. And also the here Atma is Paramatma. So same Atma is the creator and the universal being.
Yeah, this is the comment you want. Yeah, because we are in, there is a whole thing, Kshetrajna Vibhagam. That is he was telling, I am the Kshetrajna of all Kshetras. This is 13th chapter. There's the whole chapter which contains the qualities of who is a jnani. If you want to know, so you look at the chapter 13. It starts with the shloka Amanitvam, Adhambitvam, Ahimsa, Shanti, Rajyavam, Acharyo, Vasanam, Shaucham. It goes on like that. That is where he talks about why people, Vivikta desha sevitvam arathir janasamchadi. Real jnani, he doesn't want too much social things. He wants like solitude. Asaktir anabhishwanga putradara gruhas. He is not too much attached to his house. Not that you may make it go down at you, but not too much putradara gruhas, children, family, this. He has kind of detachment. So he shows all the qualities what jnani is. That kshetra jna vibhaga yogam. We are all the fields. That means we are all, these bodies are the field. Kshetra exactly means field, like when you go and till the land. And Kshetrajna is the indweller of the field. And Lord said, Kshetrajnapi mam vidhi. Remember, I am the indweller. I am the Kshetrajna in all. So we need to remember, whenever we see somebody, there is a field, you see that body, that gender, black, white, yellow, or whatever it is. But the indwelling principle, only God. So we should be able to see through. That is what these great masters, avatars, we see that such and such person, tall, black, this, but they see through and see that inside thing. Like in the microscope, you go to the thing and see the inside. Similarly, this jnana scope. So the jnana scope only see that divine principle in all things, whatever they see. That is what it is. What is the question now, Chiranjeev?
I am not sure I understand the difference between dharma and practice of dharma, which declines across yugas. Aren't they the same? Is there an example of or illustration of dharma is strong but practice of dharma declines?
Yeah, dharma has always been there. Dharma is like sun. You can say sun, you even get better, you take the example of moon. Moon is full, and slowly that moonshine goes down, right, with everything, and finally the dark night comes. Again, it slowly, does really, the real moon doesn't go down. Is because of that, the things, it looks like it is going down. Similarly, dharma is dharma, truth is truth, love is love, it can never go down. The people, two things, number of people practicing it goes down, and also in the same person, the how much you practice that. It refers to both the number of people practicing in the same time how. For example, in the time of Sathya thing, Sathya Harishchandra, for the sake of truth, he gave up everything. He didn't care anything. He gave up his kingdom, gave up his family, and everything. He was a gatekeeper of cremation ground. He was an emperor. Satya Harishchandra was not even a king. So he could give for the sake of truth. That is, for dharma, they would give up everything. So just they don't. So then when it comes to the time of Rama, so Rama was able to stand for the truth. But some of these other people, even his father, was hesitating. He was even praying, why don't you? Because I gave the word, you didn't give the word, you don't need to keep it up. So just let me go, and you just say, hey, that is my father gave the word. Why should I take, like your father, you say, contract somebody, I have to pay the loan. Yeah, that is his father's business. Why should I pay, right? Most of the people would argue now that somebody, your father makes loans, that is his problem, not me. But he said, keep the lineage. That is the next step. So Dashratha, he had a little bit doubt. But whereas Rama, he says, even though my father gave a word, and I do not. And even his own brother, who is also embodiment of Dharma, Bharata, he says, my father, you don't need to practice that. So there is different degree of how much you commit to Dharma. And in the time of Dwapara, you can say how decline. So they, for just practice of Dharma, they justify even great Dharmaraja. What is this Dharmaraja means? Embodiment, king of Dharma. He's embodiment of Dharma. But at one point, he has to hail Ashwatthama Hata Kunjara. He says, Ashwatthama, he didn't tell a lie, but misleading the people. It's not a lie. Ashwatthama died like the elephant. He mumbled elephant. Because Ashwatthama is the son of Dronacharya, and he's dearest to, it's very difficult to conquer him. So to mislead him, so he said, Ashwatthama died, because that means that he heard died, but he didn't hear that it is the elephant which died. So it is misleading. So it is truth. So already there is a compromise. Now, in Kali age, you can see that is why in Samadhi Punya Kshetra also they say what they think is one thing, what they say is another thing, what they do. Very few people are very particular about what they think, say, and do. Hey, I gave a word, I have to stick to that. That goes even in this age. Like Sri Ramakrishna one time told somebody, hey, I will come to your house for dinner, this team, satsang. He will go for only satsang, he won't go for. He said, suddenly he forgot about it. He realized it at 10 o'clock in the night. Suddenly, my God, I gave a word that I will come to that person. So those days they didn't have electricity, and he took a lantern, went to the house of the person whom he will go in the night 10 o'clock, just to touch that place. So he is so much particular about the word, what you give. Nowadays people don't care. And put and came back. So that kind of steadfastness for the truth is even in the recent time. But now people think that it's okay. And also another thing I want people, Swami says, you don't need to oblige, but speak obligingly. People misunderstand this. Even if something is not good, just to make them happy, you should not keep quiet if you don't, but don't tell untruth. You know inside that it's not correct, and tell the people just to make them happy. That is not speaking. That is speaking untruth. Speak obligingly means don't be rude to people. Don't hurt by like somebody is lame, you can say hey, you are lame or blind, like that. You don't need to. But if something is not right, not dharmic, you should be bold enough to tell that. That is very important. So thought, harmony of thought, word, and deed is the tapas of this age, Swami says. That is dharma. So he was telling so many people don't practice that. So whereas in those days, people, a number of people practicing is good. So it is, the values are the same, but people who practice it. Okay, so I think we will come here if you want to make any comment you do. Otherwise,
no. The only thing is we can ponder this the next week. We discussed this last week a little bit. One thing that caught my eyes in this paragraph is, I mean, with this jnana, the wisdom, we should do any act. The awareness of the Atma, you need to know. That's what Swami is telling in the first paragraph. But the beautiful thing he says is that awareness of the Atma will guide you in both the outmoving and indrawing paths, the pravritti marga and nivritti marga. So the awareness of the Atma will guide in both ways, he is telling. It will not block action, but fill it with purpose and meaning. The thing is, we ponder over awareness of the Atma, so everybody says, go inward, go inward. But both, that is the cause of both outmoving and is talking about Nivritti Marga.
No, once awareness is important for anything.
Exactly.
Like in life. That is why I used to say some of the students around Swami, I say they won't even, Swami will be going in, like that, they will be know where to do and what to give. So that means that total awareness in life, people who are very spiritual, they are one-pointed and they have the total awareness. Because like that one time Swami took, we were there in the interview room. So Swami said, what is this? This piece of cloth. And then he looked the whole thing. What is this? This is a handkerchief made up of thread, this and that. Whole knowledge. That is the difference between a human knowledge, which is partial, only temporary. Whereas the divine knowledge is the total awareness. That is called prajna. That is why prajnanam Brahma. Prajnanam itself is Brahman. But how to easily develop that prajna, Chiranjeevi? So, Gayatri, what we chant. Gayatri, I said, Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. And we pray that there is the greatest mantra to increase the awareness. Dhi, it has got Dhi, Medha, Dhruti, Smruti, and Prajna will improve when you pray to the goddess Gayatri. Just Savitur, just a Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat, Prajna. So if you want to have problem with your memory, awareness, willpower, you pray to the Gayatri, which we all do, that is why it is so powerful. Just it increases our awareness for both this world and the other world. That is the power of the Gayatri. Sai Ram.